Welcome back to another episode of Every Way Woman. I'm your host, Liza Monet Morales, and I am pleased to be joined today by my fellow co-hosts, Natasha and Charlotte, and of course, our special guest, one of many that we're having today, Miss Shannon, Michelle Shannon. Let me get that right. So first off, ladies, let's get started. Open dialogue. Let's start talking about what's happening in the news that is kind of making some rumblings, right? I know off camera we were all kind of talking about our own opinions, and I thought what better way to start off the show than just to get at it. So first things up, long-term weight loss. A new study has come out of China and also a couple other magazines that I read, something in Newsweek as well, saying that the effects of long-term weight loss seem to be as harmful as maybe the effects of losing weight to look good. So what do you guys think?
I think it's an excuse for people who are obese or overweight not to lose weight at this point. I mean, I don't think that's a very good idea because we have 2/3 of the people in this country, adults, are either overweight or obese.
And not just adults,
of kids.
Children, yes.
No, I know, a third of the kids are. And we spend a ton of money on health care, and on obesity we spend like $117 billion a year alone. So the study worries me because I think it gives people an excuse to say, oh, I can stay fat. I don't want to, hurt my health, so I better stay a fat person.
I don't think it gives somebody an excuse to stay fat. I think eating too much makes you fat.
Yes.
And there's enough information out there where everybody should know you're supposed to eat fruits and vegetables. That's your choice. If you want to be fat and you want to eat your way to death,
right?
You can do that. I don't think the government should keep coming in and keep doing all these studies. It's a waste of money. We already know.
There was another study, though, that said there's a decline in eating of fruits and vegetables.
But this is what I was going to say. I mean, on the flip side, if you guys saw this summer, there was a show that Ryan Seacrest Productions actually had on the air with Jamie Oliver, right? And they had it was all about him going into schools. And I know for me, one of the things that stood out was when they asked this little boy about, oh, what are you having for breakfast? And he's like, oh, I'm having pizza and, and soda. And he's like, okay, well, where is your fruit? He's like, well, cheese. I mean, that's a vegetable. And I thought that is just really sad because he wasn't trying to be funny. He was actually being serious that he thought that this was okay to have for breakfast. And I thought the problem is with the whole supersizing of everything is that we're now conditioning kids at a very young age to go down that path of having bad eating habits and possibly being obese. But on the flip side, I know Michelle and I were talking about it was also the girls, what they go to the opposite extreme of losing weight, of being anorexic, of being bulimic. So, I mean, what do you think in terms of manners that you've seen? What's been going on kind of in the teens today?
Well, the teens feel like they're under pressure to be thin. A lot of them feel like they're under pressure to be thin. At the same time, too, realistically, a lot of them are overweight. I see a lot of teens now that look older than, you and I, just because they're eating a lot. A lot of them like to go to McDonald's. They're not really interested in learning how to cook. They don't know how to cook, which gave me the idea to create my book, to write my book, Introducing Young Lady to Cooking. It's a book that teaches young ladies how to cook.
That's great.
And it teaches them everything about cooking as far as in storing the food properly, how to make sure that the food is prepared properly to prevent foodborne illnesses. And I also go into manners for young ladies also.
Which is great, which we definitely, we are lucky to have her that we'll be actually going into that in a bit. But let's definitely just mention the book, which is awesome, Introducing a Young Lady to Cooking. What's fantastic about that, and I think you hit the nail on the head, is people getting educated about what to do and that there are simple steps to do that. So our advice would be get educated, know the information, and move on. One of the other things coming out talking about food is calorie count. Do we want to know at the movie theaters or when we go to a baseball game how much grease and oil is really in that popcorn? Really? Do we really want to know that?
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
I'll still eat it.
Because it's a horror movie for me.
I do like to know.
I'm going to be honest.
Exposure is always important. And they say that it's, 1,600 calories for a medium-sized container of popcorn?
Yes.
A fast food meal is 1,300 calories on average, which is 60% of the calories for the day. I mean, people need to know this and be educated about it, and then they can make better choices about their lives.
Movies, I kind of almost want to say if I know it might be my own horror movie, and I kind of feel like when I go to the movies, I want to kind of get away. I don't know. I'm kind of think like the court is still out on that, or the judgment is out on that. But what I do know is we have to take a commercial break. So you guys please stay tuned for us after this, and we'll be back with more on some hot topics and open dialogue, as well as with our guest. We'll see you in a bit. welcome back to Every Way Woman. I'm your host, Liza Monet Morales, and today I would say it's a hot topic for me, but I also know it's a popular topic to talk about the do's and don'ts of etiquette, especially with holiday seasons around us. So as part of our Home for the Holidays segment, what we're doing is we actually are very pleased and excited to have Michelle Shannon here today with us to tell us a little bit about the main do's and don'ts for parties.
Okay, the main do's and don'ts are pretty much to do call ahead to find out what the dress code is. If you have to call to RSVP, you want to ask then when you call to RSVP.
I am going to interrupt 1 second though. Can we make sure that we add to that 1A or pre-1? Can you call an RSVP? Because I know I have so many parties and I ask people to RSVP and they don't, and then they show up and they're like, wait, you didn't know I was coming? I'm like, that's why it says RSVP or RSVP with regrets. So I mean, wouldn't you say that that's definitely something to kind of start it off? Okay.
Would you say that if you can't find out what the dress code is, you should always dress up rather than dress down?
Yes, you should. You should always dress up.
Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2?
Tip number 2, never go empty-handed. You should always make sure that you take something with you. Take a gift for the hostess.
Yes, I agree. And what would you say, especially, you know, times are not the best for some people. So I always think even just a nice bottle of wine or a nice little house plant or something festive, but you're the expert. You tell us, what are some other fun things that people can bring?
Something along the lines of a nice bottle of wine, like a nice Chardonnay, or even candles. Candles would be good also. Or, like you said, a nice house plant would be something that would be nice also.
I like that. Now, clearly, don't be bringing in wine if you're under 21. Okay, we're just going to say that. Because then I'll have other questions. That's a Lindsay Lohan party, so we're not going to that one. So now, in tip number 3, what would you say is important?
I would say that you should not plan on bringing an uninvited guest. If your invitation has your name on it only, then you are the guest, you are the person that they're inviting, and you're the person that should come.
Okay.
You should not ask about bringing a spouse or children if their names are not on there, if it does not.
Oh, that is a hot topic right there, ladies. I don't know how many parties you've been to, but people sometimes bring their kids, and it's supposed to be an adult-only party, and it puts the hostess in such a uncomfortable situation.
Yes, it does.
How do you deal with that if someone does do that?
You can, if it's an adult party and they bring kids, you can just ask them if they can take their kids into another room or maybe take their kids home. Let them know that this was not a party intended for children to attend. You know, just something simple like that.
Natasha, I know that you would be very comfortable saying that.
Oh,
like,
well, you know,
She
my
would.
parents used to just bring me to the parties and I would just be the entertainment. So I'd have to dance and everything.
there's that, I guess. I know.
As long as the kids don't drink too much, it should be fine.
Yeah. Now, what would you say in terms about eating? I know that that's one thing that's also come up. Sometimes people come expecting the host to have like a full spread of food, and when they get there, they're like, oh, there's only little appetizers. How come? It's kind of weird to me that people come with an expectation that you're going to be fully fed for like a 6-course meal or something if it's just like a baby shower or something. What would your thoughts be on that?
I would say don't plan on attending the event hungry. Don't streamline
my girl right
the food.
Go get some popcorn.
Yes. Just don't find out about the calories. That's all I'm saying.
Plan on socializing when you get there. Don't just make a straight line, you know, and head straight from the door to the food. To the food table.
Because that just looks bad.
It does. It really does. It just shows that that's what you're there for.
Okay. Now, and you bring up another great topic too, though, in terms of if you're going to an event where maybe you don't know really anybody other than the host, and I don't know if you guys have had that, but lately I've had that with friends getting married and stuff. How do you say, in terms of breaking the ice, what are 2 good tips that you can give us for that?
Well, when you arrive at an event, you should always go to the host, speak to the host. If you don't know the host, introduce yourself, let the host know that you're there, let them know that you are at the event, and you should always, before you leave the event, let them know that you're leaving. However, if there are guests that you don't know, the host may introduce you to the guests. If the host does not introduce you to the guests, you should always walk in, introduce yourself to the group, and go ahead and start conversing with them.
That is awesome. All right, well, she definitely has lots of definitely great tips that you can use, and I would recommend that each and every one of you check out her website, which is mshannonconsulting.com, or of course, you can always log on to everywaywoman.com for more information. Thank you so much, Michelle, for having us. I hope to have you on again because I feel like this is a topic that we can go on and on for. All right, you guys, we'll be right back after this.